how I live comfortably and happily on $1,000 a month. Number one, mindset. 1A, if I were to have my dream home, whether I had $0 or $1,000,000, my dream home would be the same. It would be a small 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom house with a small living room, a small kitchen. There would be no den or no dining room. It would be neat, clean, organized, and clutter free. It would look like a house in a storybook. I remember when I read storybooks to my kids when they were little, the houses in the storybooks were neat, clean, organized, and clutter free. The artist did not draw excess stuff. Whether the characters were human or animals, the houses just look so cozy and so comfortable. And I remember when I was a kid and a teen, certain people's houses were small and just so cozy. They were accidental minimalists. They didn't be minimalist on purpose. They, I'm sure, never even heard the word. It wasn't even thought about back then. But yeah, if I had my dream house, it would not be a big mansion. It would just be something small and cozy. And I would have everything in there that I needed. And it would be so minimalist, it would have so few possessions that you would be able to draw a map of my house and draw where all the possessions are. Everything would have a home. Now, in real life, my home is not that minimalist where you could draw a map and label where everything is. 1B, I like for my life and my house to be as stress free as possible. I would rather have $0 and zero stress than $1,000,000 and a lot of stress. In the past, I have had a lot of stuff and junk, and it was so stressful. I was not happy. 1C, this small little dream home would be a sanctuary, which where I live now, it is a sanctuary. So, yeah, in my dream home, it would be a sanctuary. It would just be so full of love. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I would just want to stay in this cozy house. And that's the way it is now. So, I am living my dream life. I do have my little dream apartment. 1D, it doesn't take much to make me happy. I am full and content. I'm naturally conservative, even though in the past I have been through a couple of phases of spending money unwisely, but I'm over that. Now, I never was as bad as certain others that I know. It could have been a lot worse, but that did not bring me joy. I do not like to shop. And so, yeah, it just doesn't take much to make me happy. 1E, it's all about relationships. It's not about the stuff. And like I said earlier, I have had a lot of stuff before, and it did not make me happy. My relationships make me happy. 1F. It's all about happiness and joy. Even without a lot of money, we can still have happiness and joy. 1G. It's all about choices. I can have whatever I want. Now, I know on $1,000 a month I can't have all the stuff that I want, but I don't want stuff. The things that I want, I can have them. And like I mentioned in 1F, it's all about joy and happiness. That's a choice. I choose to be happy and positive. And whatever I choose, it's just so exciting knowing that we have choices. 1H is Bella. I have mentioned her a lot of times before. And I want to be just like her. She is a lady who had a baby young, and the father is not in the home. She works a minimum wage job. Her house is neat, clean, and organized. She has an awesome relationship with her daughter. She's never late. She never asks anybody for anything. She pays her bills on time. She chooses to be happy and positive. She chooses to have a good relationship with her child. She could choose to be negative and unhappy, and she could choose to feel sorry for herself because her parents and her sisters have disowned her. Even her church doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She could really be a negative person, and it'd be easy for her to do that, but she chooses to be positive and happy. And she is living proof that anybody can be positive and happy no matter what situation they're in. And I want to be just like Bella. 1I. We have so much. Even if we only make $1,000 a month, that is a lot, especially compared to certain other countries. If they had that much to live off of, even if it's equivalent to whatever their dollar amount is, they would feel so rich. Our standards are just so high, and so we think that we're poor, but we're really not. 1J. Back in the olden days, their standards was a lot lower than they are now. If someone back then made $1,000 a month, equivalent to whatever it would have been back then, they would feel rich. So yeah, our standards are just so high. So I can make my standards any way I want them to be. So if I compare myself with back in the olden days, I am really rich. 1K. I do not care what others think. I know a lot of people think, oh, you are so poor. You only get $1,000 a month. How can you be happy? You need more than that. I don't care what they think. I can choose to do my money right and to be happy and to realize that this is really a lot. 1L. I have everything I need. So even if I made $10,000 a month, what am I going to do with all the excess? Now, I know what I'd do with it. I would buy my kids houses and cars, and I'd give to the poor. So yeah, I'd have plenty to do with it, but as far as what it takes for me to live off of, I have everything I need. I have enough money to pay my bills and buy groceries, so I have everything I need. I'm rich. 1M. It's the inside. When it's all said and done, I want to be known for my unconditional love for my kids and for other people. I do not want to be remembered for my stuff or for my career. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a career, that's great. But that's not what I want to be remembered by. I just want to be remembered for the love that I had for my kids and for other people. So that was a long number 1. Now number 2. Another way that I live comfortably and happily on $1,000 a month is I live life. I celebrate holidays. I celebrate and I have festivities. And you're probably thinking, how can you afford to do that? Well, I have that in my budget. And that leads to number 3. I have a budget. I have all the categories that I need in my budget. And you're probably thinking, but when you make your budget out, how can you afford to have festivities and celebrations? Well, I just cut back on other things. And that leads to number 4. I eat cheap foods. I will eat cheap foods the rest of the month if I can have 1 day or 2 days of the month of festivities and celebrations with my kids. I will eat water biscuits and gravy. I love that. I will eat potatoes and pasta. I will eat carrots, bananas, apples, tomatoes. Number 5, I do not buy water bottles anymore. Now, I do not work for the water company, but don't they have to filter that water before it comes to us? I drink it straight out of the tap. I trust them. Number 6, I don't do certain things very often. Because if you do things very often, it loses its charm. So the fun things that I do, I just don't do it very often. Number 7, I have plenty of clothes. When I became an official minimalist, I did not get rid of my clothes and have a capsule wardrobe. So I have plenty of clothes. When anything wears out, I shouldn't have to replace it. Number 8, I am a minimalist. So therefore that means I spend less money. So these are the ways in which I live comfortably and happily on $1,000 a month. These ways work for me. They may not work for you because we're all different and we all have different personalities. So I just thought I would share that. Thank you.